Well, we are officially in the off season. It's the longest off season in sports. It's the most dreadful one, and we ain't even at the dog days yet. But we got spring football starting up today. It is March 16th. The Cards start spring practice, and we're going to be talking about that and more on today's show. Settle on in. Welcome on in to the Cardinal Companion. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on when and where you're watching in from. As always, it's your boy Josh, and we're here. We're talking about some actual things on the field. We're talking about a little bit of spring football. So today, as we record this, it is March 16th. The Cards start their first spring practice today, and my goodness, is the excitement level high right now for everyone in the fan base. This year's team looks like they could do something really special. If you watch the most recent interview I did with 3Tech, that'll be linked down below, so go check that out when you're done with this video. We kind of talked to you, heard me talking about it. Expectations are high for this year's squad. You know, Jeff Brom, this is the most resources he's had since he's been here at Louisville, and they've constructed, if I must say, one hell of a roster. With that all being said, what are we really looking for in spring this year? Well, while we do know that, yes, they have a very good roster, there's still a lot of question marks there. Big one on everyone's mind is, what does Lincoln Kienholz look like? Old Lincoln logs, man. What does he look like? What does he play like? I think a lot of those questions are going to be answered in spring practice. And what I mean by that is, we've heard great things about Lincoln, at least I have and the guys around the Cardinal Companion have, about Lincoln through winter workouts, through lifts. He's been a very vocal leader on the team. But what does he look like on the field when we actually start seeing him repping? Now, if you've watched a lot of Ohio State football, and if you keep up with Ohio State, you would know Lincoln looked pretty good last camp. He was really battling there, and he didn't get the starting job, but he's pretty dang close. To be fair, the guy that beat him out for the starting job is arguably one of the top 5 college football quarterbacks going into this season, Julian Sayin. So how does he look here at Louisville? With that being said, are we able to change up the play sheet a little bit to better suit Lincoln? Lincoln, I would argue, is the most mobile quarterback Jeff Brom has had. And that says something when you have a guy like Tyler Shuck on your roster. The best way I would describe it, he reminds me a lot, actually, of that quarterback, Tyler Shuck, pre-injury. So what does that look like? We're going to find out in spring practice. I personally would really like to see Louisville try to incorporate a lot of short RPO sets. That's something we haven't seen a lot from Jeff Brom. And when we do see it, it's always been with bringing in a backup, a guy like a Deuce Adams, and to run those sort of plays. What does it look like when we can naturally do that with our starting quarterback? That could be special, especially when you have guys like Isaac Brown and Kewan Brown in the backfield. So obviously, that's my big thing, and I think that's everyone's big thing, is quarterbacks. Quarterback. What are we going to see from the quarterback?
Hey, real quick while I have you here, if you're enjoying this show and you want to see more just like it, hit that red subscribe button right now. It literally takes 1 second. When you subscribe and turn on notifications, you're never going to miss a drop. Whether it's the next big breakdown, new pickups, giveaway, or just me and the boys ranting about how much we love the Cards. Seriously, tap, subscribe, plus hit that bell. Let's keep moving this community together. Now back on over to the video. Peace.
The other side of the ball, the defense. Now, I would argue this is the most talented Louisville defense probably since Charlie Strong was here, if not further. You got a really good unit. You got a 20 unit last year, return a majority of that production this year. Had some really big additions in the transfer portal, specifically at D-end and at safety. How does that all look? You were already pretty dang good at D-end with Clev Lubin. Now you're going to add on top of that. That's something special. But it's not so much about the players. It's about the coaching. Now, my question is, with the departure of Ron English and now the promotion of Steve Ellis and Mark Ivey, who's calling plays? I personally believe it would be Mark Ivey, but I want to see how we call it and how we play it. Yeah, it's awesome that you have all of these great pieces in your defense. But, brother, you got to put those pieces in the right place. And I think they can do that. But we're going to learn a lot about that in spring. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I don't think you do that much different on your defense. I really don't. I think the 4-2-5 really suits you as a defense. You've built your program around it. You've made your additions in the portal around that. You're able to retain a guy like an Antonio Watts, which is perfect for that scheme. So I think with that being said, you're going to continue to run that 4-2-5, and as you should. Humble opinion, Josh here, YouTuber, right? I think that is the best scheme in college football. And I think we saw the evolution of the scheme happen in the late 2010s in the SEC with guys like Kirby Smart, and it's been perfected. And it works so well in our league, the ACC. With the type of offenses you're going to see with the pass-heavy offenses, I think it looks phenomenal. So I'm really interested to see how that defense looks, especially how it's called. On defense, I would argue there is one singular question mark from your personnel, and that's nose tackle. Nose tackle is a little bit unproven. You made your additions in the transfer portal, but it's not that much proven. Like I said, very unproven, right? Let's see how the nose tackles look. Now, what I will say, though, if nose tackle is our biggest question mark for our personnel on defense, I like that. I think that means you got a pretty good defense. Just food for thought, right? Kind of bouncing around a little bit, though. Going back to the offense, really curious about the offensive line. Offensive line obviously struggled in the 25 campaign at times. They went into the transfer portal, like Jeff Brom does. They got them some good guys. I really want to see 2 to 3 guys kind of stand out in this spring where we can say, okay, there's my guys. Because I think at this time, you have 12 offensive linemen on roster. You could make the argument that 7 to 8 of them are starters. I want to see a few guys kind of push them out in front of the pack where they say, hey, I am the for sure starter at this position. And I think you could see that. So, it's a fun time, man. It's going to be a fun spring session. They're even opening up practices like they've always done here under Jeff Brom on a couple of dates. Those dates are March 17th at 3:45, March 18th at 3:45, the 27th at 3:45, the 28th at 9:45, and then back again on April 3rd at 3:45. Then we're going to turn it all around, and we got that spring game, baby. It's on April 17th at 6 o'clock, the night before Thunder over Louisville, pending the city of Louisville has Thunder this year. I know, a little bit of a soft spot. I apologize. But pending that they do, it's going to be the night before Thunder. It's going to be fun. I'm going to implore all you guys, try to get out to those spring practices. I'm a big football guy, and I like watching practice more than I like watching actual games. At practice, you really find out who's legit and who's not, and you find out who has a good head on them and who don't. Along with that spring game, it's a lot of fun, man. Louisville, it's not a traditional spring game at all. This isn't a traditional fan base, not a traditional spring game, but they do a good job with it. They put a really good product on the field. You get to see all your guys, especially down in like the 2-3 deep line. It's a great time. It's a blast. They typically do like big yard sales and stuff. You can get a lot of really cool stuff there. I've gotten a few jerseys there myself, but it's the best time of the year, man. In the off season, it's spring ball. We're ushering it in. We're gonna have a lot of fun here, and we're just gonna kind of follow along. We'll come back periodically on the channel here, do a couple of updates. We got one of our boys, James. He's going out to all the spring practices. Going to get you guys as much content as we can about it. And, brother, I don't know if you've looked at the page. We got a lot of content to slow roll out to you guys. We're still talking about our transfer portal additions. Got to talk a little bit about what we added on the offense on the staff. That's going to be a fun conversation. And we're going to be talking about spring game, all a bunch of good stuff, so stay locked in the channel. It's always a great time around here. Always football going on 24/7, 365. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. A little short video today. We make it easy. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. If you got a friend that loves Louisville football and is getting really excited and is kind of getting through those summer blues that we're getting through right now, send them on over. We'd love to get his viewership. But please, we'll catch you guys next time on the page. Take it easy, and we will see you later. Peace.